Guys, what's up? I just did some thinking, and this is crazy. But with the recent acquisition of 10% of UFC by Flash Entertainment, here's some predictions I'm making, and you're gonna see them come to pass. First of all, I'm gonna tell you this: you're gonna start seeing more female commentators in UFC sports. Quite possible a female commentator in the booth in rotation with Joe Rogan at live UFC events. You're probably gonna see Dana White step back from managing press conferences because once they get to that level where they're in the international market, his type of I don't want to offend him, but I'm on the internet, so if you're offended, Dana White, tough luck. His type of style of managing press conferences where he's intimidated to reporters and he's brash and he's dropping the F bomb and the S bomb, that's not gonna work on the international scenes, especially in some countries where swearing and those type of things is thought of as just uncouth. You trying to market the sport and enter into people's homes and that type of stuff. You don't want to be in a situation where you're dropping f bombs every 5 minutes. So I don't see that. I don't see him having the longevity of as managing the press conference. I think he'll still manage day-to-day operations, but I think they'll hire a full-time person to handle all the press conferences. And I think at some point he'll just be in the back room doing back operations. They'll probably hire some young, handsome, dashing guy. The guy may almost look as handsome as I do, but not as good. But they probably hire some younger person with a full head of hair. Somebody who's more refined, somebody who's more polite, somebody who's more of a marketing person that can manage people and be more effective in terms of the way they communicate. Because what's going to happen is that once they get to that international level, I don't see the style of the way the press conferences are done. I don't see the style of just the whole breakout. I don't see it working like that because you have many international offices that you're going to be opening worldwide, and no offense to Dana White, he's been there from the ground up, but I think to get them Sufa to the next level, I don't think he has the range or the depth to manage it once it gets to that multi-level international organization level. I think they'll bring in some more people who are, solid people, maybe some people with backgrounds in that type of industry. Possible people from larger firms like Pepsi or Walmart, those type of things. Somebody who knows how to manage and operate an international organization on that level. So, like on the basic level, I give Dana White credit of being a good CEO, of learning, developing skills, being able to think and generate ideas. But when it comes to that logistical, hardcore management, MBA style level where the rubber meets the road, I think they're gonna probably have to hire some new faces to transition into that and kind of repackage and rebrand the UFC for international consumption. That's just me because after a while you start to it wears on you to where you see the guy who's doing the management, the management decisions, you know what's happening, and you're thinking as you're watching the press conference, there's the slime ball right there. He's a slime ball that's screwing these guys out of money, and he's up here laughing and smiling and saying, "Oh, the gate did well, the pay-per-view did well. We made all these millions." But yet, he's screwing them out of the money, and you start to there's some kind of at some point you start to get to that level where it's like latent resentment start to build in because you're like, you're such a hole, dude. You're ripping these guys off, and you're up here smiling and laughing like it's nothing, and you screwing them over in the contracts. So at some point, to just get the fans away from that thinking of, hey, this is a seedy mob run, low level operation. They need people who are more refined, somebody who's going to deal with the press and not be involved in the day-to-day operations of the business. Because when I see him, I'm like, dude, you just finished screwing these guys out of millions of dollars. I know you made 82 million for this event and you only paid the fighters 10%. So it's like only 8 million is going to your cost of goods sold, you know, it's going to your cost of sales, and then the pay-per-view and those type of things trickle down plus the merchandising, they don't get that. So it's kind of like, from a business perspective, these guys are being ripped off. So Dana White has to go into the background, and for the sake of diversity and opening up the women's division, you're gonna need to have a woman commentator in the booth at a live UFC event. So if Joe Rogan is still in there, then it's maybe the other guy with his, I don't know his name, but whatever they call him, the voice, the smooth, and Joe, he's such and such and such. Look, that guy, he's gonna get the hell out, probably get replaced by a female person who's refined, who's a good commentator, who can also explain stuff. So we need more female representation in the UFC, and maybe the press conference person that they hire may in fact wind up being a woman. As UFC gets on the international stage, I see a lot of changes coming in the organization, even in terms of the fighters' contract, the way they're treated. A lot of changes coming, and what I also see is Bellator becoming more competitive. I'll do a next video about that, but for right now, that's the way I think it's gonna play out.